My name's Richard Miller. I'm teaching the signature course, The Coming Apocalypse. And the goal of the course is to produce students who are more thoughtful about how stories get told. The function of narrative is to organize chaotic experience and make it less terrifying. The Coming Apocalypse is a way of confronting our biggest fears. We look at the intellectual trajectory and tradition of telling stories about the end of the world and how those stories differed. The argument of the course is that the telling of the story of the apocalypse is always that the apocalypse is near at hand and that you are going to be a witness. You will be present at the end of the world. What I argue is that apocalyptic narratives are inherently, fundamentally multidisciplinary, that as they locate themselves in time, they also locate themselves in the time's greatest fear. So to understand the initial apocalyptic visions that we begin the course with that go back to Revelations in the New Testament, the only way to understand that is if you start to bring in Christian teachings and introduction to the Bible, and then when you get into the period of the post-World War II into the late 70s, the fear of nuclear holocaust, you have to just take a break and talk about, well, how does this nuclear energy work? What are the threats that it poses? What's the threat of radiation? And work through all of these things, because without understanding, having a working understanding of the science, you don't understand the psychological threat that's posed by it. The last thing I'm teaching this year is a new edition, David Egger's book, The Circle. And it is very self-consciously an apocalyptic narrative. It has all sorts of references that go back to Revelations and Christianity. But the apocalypse is living in a time where there's technology that keeps track of everything you do, that films everything you do. And so it comes right up to the contemporary moment and looks at the issues raised about the NSA by Snowden. What happens is I begin teaching, I have slides, and then we run the class as a networked 200-person conversation for the 80 minutes. Because of the kind of conversations we have, they are equipped to ask questions about what the narrative doesn't tell us. What are the parts of the stories that are unsaid, unmentioned, unpictured? I wanted to teach this course from the beginning because I wanted students to have an experience of the humanities as being centrally about ideas, and big ideas that are exciting and troubling, looking at how the daily world is connected to bigger things.